Good morning, and thank you for being here to discuss your equipment rental program with us and to talk about some ways that we might be able to help you improve your bottom line going forward. You know, as we have the opportunity to talk to key decision makers such as yourself, folks who are responsible for maximizing the overall efficiency of a company and keep an eye on that bottom line, they tell us about the pain and the challenges that surround the equipment rental process for them. And we've seen a lot of commonality, and I've actually got some numbers up here on the board that speak to that directly. But what you'll see is that we find a need for increased visibility and accountability within the process. We see a need for streamlining of processes and operations, and cost controls and cost reductions are another spot that companies are really striving to achieve. Okay, so what we're looking at here on the board is essentially the results of a study that was done by Texas A&M University. And in that study, they polled commercial and industrial customers such as yourself that use a lot of equipment. And what 82% of those respondents agreed to was that, hey, if we could see an increase in rental utilization, that would result in an increase of operational ROI for us. Pretty straightforward, right? If we do a better job of managing our fleet, we're going to have a better bottom line. Okay, what that survey went on to tell us was that 46% of the respondents said, hey, you know what? Tracking rental utilization is probably a really good idea, but we don't do it for whatever reason, okay? RSC has dug into this scenario a little bit more and actually farmed our data and come to the conclusion, the realization really, that 24% of all of the rental contracts that we put out come back past due. And when they come back past due, they're usually, on average, 15 days past due. Okay? Let's take a look at this number a little bit because I think it's interesting. When you say 15 days, what does that mean in the rental business? That really means 3 5-day weeks, right? So you know that if you're paying for 3 weeks, you're getting it for a month, right? You're better off paying the monthly rate for the month and having that for the duration. So if I look at this and say my average plant, I do 300 rental transactions a year, and a quarter of those are past due, an average of a month that I'm paying for, right? So that means 75 is a quarter of 300 times, let's say the average cost to rent one piece of equipment per month is $1,500. That adds up to $112,500. That's a significant amount of money that we're spending on equipment that we didn't budget for, that we certainly didn't plan on spending. Who here would like to get that money back at the end of the year? I know I would, right? So the moral to this story is that utilization is equal to profit, right? So it goes for utilization, so too will it go for profit. Does anybody here have any questions or issues around this concept? It's pretty straightforward, right? Okay, well, let me